Will, how did y'all shut down that Auburn pass game in particular, Cam Coleman?
Really just the scheme we had put in for that week. You know, we really focused on him, and we just noticed, like, say we have 10 plays in the drive, like 7 of those 10 plays are going to him. So, you know, just having a big athletic receiver like that, we got to take into account that he's going to be dangerous. So just really the scheme that set forth to stop him.
Does that give y'all this idea that, you know, if whatever team, whatever receivers out there, that y'all are going to be able to do the same thing?
Yeah, we can do that with everybody in the league. You know, like everybody's going to have a good receiver. You know, we play in the best conference in the world, I feel like. So everybody's going to have that great receiver, and he's going to be a problem. So we just got to find that scheme to suit them and do what we need to do to stop him.
How would you just assess your play individually through these first 4 games?
You know, just focused up. You know, I had a little rough starting in the beginning, and, you know, that's just me being human, you know, can't slack. And, you know, like Coach Elko says all the time, when you slack, you know, that's when things start going downhill. So had to pick it up real quick, you know, and get back to my normal self. And I showed that during Auburn. So now I'm back on a good pace, and, you know, that confidence is back flowing.
Last week was you guys' best defensive performance of the year. Anything feel different leading up to it, and what was maybe different on Saturday?
I don't think there was nothing different. You know, I just feel like the defense locked in. You know, the offense picked us up during the Notre Dame game, and we did the same thing during the Auburn game. So it's just a team sport, you know. When somebody needs help, we're going to help each other out.
How much fun are third downs under Mike Elko and his defense?
Oh, it's real fun, you know, especially when we have them in 3rd and long and just watching the D-line get the tee off on them, and it just makes my job real easy. So, you know, like just playing with that Mobamba and everything in the stadium, that also adds a plus to it. So yeah.
With how those are schemed up, is that different than you've seen with under Elko third downs? Just the exotic nature of them, I guess.
Yeah, I could say like he's putting more swag to it. You know, he's just letting the D-line get their little different stunts and their different twists and everything like that, and just letting them have fun and go at it. So yeah, I feel like it's a little different.
We just got done talking to Tyreek. What's different when he comes back about the secondary?
You know, Tyreek's a big player, like, in our defense. You know, last year losing him was hard, you know, like having that great lockdown player in the nickel and who could fit the run, and just a vet guy in the defense, you know. Like, he was here before me with Elko when he was the DC and everything. So having a vet guy that really knows the defense and knows what needs to be run through on the secondary on the back end is really huge. So having him back is really big.
Looking ahead to Mississippi State, Jeff Levy, obviously a very offensive-heavy coach, knowledgeable. Just what have you seen from them so far?
You know, they got great receivers. You know, they got a few receivers that are good. You know, and they're real explosive. You know, watching them play Tennessee last week, like, this is a real explosive offense, and they're really efficient. So they make a lot of guys miss and make a lot of guys mess up. So we just got to play locked in and just stay true to everything.
You had mentioned that last year Mario Craver was the toughest cover you guys had. But what jumped out about that game? You went against him, and what made him such a tough cover?
Really their scheme, you know. Mississippi State kind of has a similar offense to the Tennessee offense. They really have wide splits with their receivers. So really the scheme of having them really spaced out, and then having just an explosive receiver like Mario just going in motion to where you can't get hands on him, you know. Like, my big thing is, like, getting hands on guys and disrupting timing and stuff like that. So Mississippi State did a real good job with him and having him go in motion and snapping the ball when he's on the run. So just doing things like that just made it real difficult. So I'm just glad he's on our team.
Speaking of Mario, was did he talk about the offense, kind of some scouting report there, maybe some of the receivers, how to attack them?
No, we haven't spoke with him recently about the offense. You know, we just going in our scheme and watching the past few games and games from last year. So that's all we're looking forward to right now.
What's your relationship like with Des Rose, and how have you seen him, take big strides this offseason?
Oh yeah, that's my dog. You know, like, I always knew what Dez could do. You know, like, everybody else is, like, shocked and seeing what he does. Like, I see it all the time. So just playing with Dez, like, since last year, and then even, like, Dez probably don't even know. I really knew Dez when he got to IMG. So, like, I always been watching him. Even though I'm older, you know, I always watch everybody's game. But, like, Dez was always a baller. So maybe just need a little confidence and just get used to the system a little more. So, yeah, Dez is a dog.
When Mario entered the portal, how soon did you notice, and how vocal were you with the staff? Like, hey, this is a guy we gotta go get.
Oh yeah, I knew we was gonna get him. I texted Mario when he entered the portal. I was like, bro, you need to come here, bro. Like, this is the fit for you. Like, and plus, I don't want to guard you if you go anywhere else. And, you know, we laughed about it and everything. And then when I saw he came here, I was like, I wasn't surprised. I just told him, like, let's get to work, bro. You know it's good. So yeah.
Did you talk to him on his visit and kind of help recruit him additionally on that?
No, I haven't seen him. I didn't see him on his visit. I saw him when we all reported back, and like the first day, like, you know, we was chatting it up, and he told me like, bro, I'm ready to get to work. You know, like, you know, being at Mississippi State, he's like, I'm ready to win. So, you know, we got it done.
As someone with a fun nickname, what do you think of Amari Niblack's nickname, Jurassic?
Jurassic, no, I like it, and he got the little celebration, the little dinosaur. Yeah, that's fire. It's different too. I like it for real. Like, just seeing him go out there and ball too, like, that's fun. Just like being around those guys in the locker room and just knowing their stories and just seeing them going out there and play and like showcase their talent and then showcase like their personality is real fun to see.
Yeah, with him in particular, just him being a tight end, but practicing with receivers too. Just what's the challenge of covering a guy that has that kind of build?
It's really it's different, you know. Like sometimes you'll have him at like the tight end position where he'll check the edge and then release, and then you'll have him at the wide receiver position and he has the whole route tree he can run. And it's not like he's slow, you know. Like he's really a 21 guy, like a 20 miles per hour guy. So he's real dangerous. So if you sit your feet flat, like he'll take the top off. So it's real dangerous to play against him all the time.
Why does this team make so many penalties, and how do you stop that?
We just got to be more disciplined, you know. We got to focus on the little details and do what we need to do, and then we'll eliminate that. We'll be just fine, you know. Like we put up 400-plus yards of total offense against Auburn, but a lot of those penalties set us back. So we just got to be a little more disciplined and do what we need to do and let the outside stuff be the outside stuff and focus on everything inside the circle.
Obviously, it's year 2 for you. What feels different about this team than last year?
I feel like the togetherness, you know, like a lot of the guys are really bought in, and a lot of the guys are really bought into Elko's plan, you know. Like we all want to win, and we all want the end goal of being national champions, SEC champions. So we really just had to buy in and really understand the process of getting there. So that's the real focus that everybody understands on the team now.
How much easier does it help with that buy-in, having seen the success that both sides of the ball have had on the field so far?
It means a lot, you know, and it's really the trust factor of it, you know. Like the offense trusts the defense and the defense trusts the offense, and, you know, we know if something goes wrong, we're going to pick each other up. So, like, that's the whole thing that focus on the team is just the trust and just buying into it.
Well, I know there's been talk about it. There's been court cases with JUCO eligibility. Do you think you'd be able to get another year of eligibility? I don't know if that's something you've explored or thought about at all.
Nah, I think everybody know, but yeah, I'm going to be gone after this year. I'm trying to get to the bigger level, you know, so yeah, but I'm going to do what I need to do here to get it done, so yeah.